Okay, so Bill, what are we looking at here? It looks like a steering wheel that's under construction or something. I see wires in the steering wheel.
Deconstruction.
Okay, so tell us what's happening.
What we have is a factory sport wheel, the 2012.
From what?
Range Rover Sport.
Range Rover Sport.
And about 2000, Sport came out approximately 2005, unheated, until about 2010. So now they've joined their bigger brother, the full-size Range Rover, and heating wheels. So when we're going to do a wood wheel, we're going to be putting wood across the top here and at the bottom. We're removing a lot of this resistance wire, which is going to change the resistance reading that feeds into the computer on the car later. So we have to remove these parts, but at one point we've removed all the leather so that we can see the complete turnaround of the schematic of the wiring and generate a new rewiring that gives us the same resistance reading or ohm reading as the factory.
So the wood part is going to be from here to here and from here to here. Is the wood part going to be heated as well?
No, leather remains heatable, but the wood will not be.
Right.
So this is the beginning stages. We need to pull each of these out. The wires, the 8, they're 4, and they flip around, giving you 8. We pull them out, we rewire them, cut the rubber out, wrap everything up, and do the woodwork. Ultimately, it's going to look like this for one of the woods that Range Rover Sport offers, and that's Anna Gray, a dark Anna Gray. And the connections are made here that you can see for the lower cut. The upper ones go through the wood and connect to this side so that the leather is heatable. Right. We do an initial test on the uncut leather wheel for ohm reading and the sensor, and then we go ahead in various stages check the heating output that it verifies that it has the same heat reading.
Excellent. All right, Bill. All right, let's see what
it was originally sent to us out of a car that had been refinished from Florida for the owner, who was Canadian, for a custom steering wheel to match his interior, and this was the sample piece that was sent to us. It was interesting to us from the standpoint of wood experience. It's a bit off-putting in the sense that it has a gloss, not perfect. It has a general color, not great. But what's the telltale sign of problems are these areas that have been airbrushed in or feathered in with a spray, with an airbrush. The darker areas which are not native to the original veneer. And what's been done is to attempt to hide problems and mistakes. You can see some of these filler parts down here and some other areas that under strong light that's attempt to cover up when somebody had refinished this thing. Instead of dealing with it, or maybe they created the problem, which is likely that they sanded through veneer, and therefore they had to hide that. This is something that a prospective buyer of a used Rolls or Bentley should send up flags when you see something like this on any of the pieces. Now, for cars that we know well, a finishing quote is not that difficult. We know what the refinishing process is going to take approximately. What we can't tell, even with email pictures, is how much repair or damage there is to a car. Good case in point is that 91 Corniche. So one of the first things, this is a set of, and there'll be more of it coming, a set of wood from I believe it's a 98 spur, silver spur.
So you're just getting this wood in?
Right, we got it in I think yesterday.
Okay.
And they're going to send more.
It looks like it's in pretty good shape.
Some of it is, it's like anything else. Not every piece is going to have the same amount of damage or wear. But what we would do first is try to make a thorough evaluation of it. Well, we take photographs, front and back. We record the hardware and the software that's applied to it. We document any significant damage to it, and that way we have a pretty good history of it once we start stripping it. But the first thing would be an evaluation before we strip it. And so are we looking for problems down the way? You can see, at least in certain reflection, there's a lot of fine cracking that's going on here.
Is that cracking in the surface finish or in the veneer?
That's a good point, and it's a point that a lot of people fail to realize, is that finishes can crack for various reasons, but one of the things that will crack a finish is movement below that at the veneer level. So these lines are absolutely cracks within the veneer. They're little puckers, and they happen because it wasn't glued properly or for whatever reason. But they affect the finish above it, no doubt about it. You see the rest of this cap, some shrinkage, and a little shrinkage, and crack. But this rear cap, for example, doesn't have any of that movement.
Right.
We have a couple more doors. Interesting, which we rarely see, are visors
Oh, wow.
with burl and heavily cracked burl.
So you're going to have to dismantle.
Unstitch, yeah.
Unstitch the visor.
Unstitch the visor, do the woodwork, then restitch it.
Do you do that here, the restitching?
No, we don't. We send that out to our local upholstery shop.
Okay.
And that we have more parts coming, and that's kind of an overview of what we would see when they first come in and the condition they might be.
Excellent. All right, well, let's keep walking.